Well, I've been crafting since the day my mother figured out that giving me something to do created a controlled mess versus just utter chaos. Probably since I was about 2. Do it. Just do it. No matter what you decide to do and try to do, even if it doesn't turn out exactly the way you wanted it to do, you're going to learn something. You can't make something really good or something that looks exactly like you want it in your head the first time you do it. You have to make mistakes in order to learn what not to do. And sometimes those mistakes that you make actually turn out being really cool, and you're like, oh, I'm actually going to take that and run with it. So I'm going to take that answer and twist it because I'm going to tell you about my favorite subject. I really enjoy working with fantasy art. I'm a special effects makeup artist, and so I do a lot of creature and character design. So I typically work with like aliens, monsters, and stuff like that, and that falls over into like all my sketching and stuff that I do. So probably dragons out of all of that. Dragons are definitely my favorite, and one of my favorite things to do is take a dragon and morph it with another creature. So I end up with like this little adorable cat dragon chasing a ball of yarn. So like I try to take and incorporate dragons into a lot of what I do. Let's see. I like to work with a lot of mediums. I like to work with paint and charcoal, clay. The one I'm most comfortable with would be pencil and paper. That's definitely where I start with everything. Is just sketches. I do a lot of thumbnails and a lot of sketching. Um, and then I'll come through and like rework it and define it with more pencil, colored pencil pens, and then makeup. I do a lot of work with makeup. I'm a special effects makeup artist, so I work with a lot of prosthetics and just beauty makeup in general. So I work with all sorts of that, going from sculpting and making molds to actually painting on the subject. So I work with a lot of different mediums in what I do, but definitely pencil and paper and makeup are my two that I'm most comfortable in. Everywhere. I get my inspiration from everywhere. Particularly movies and video games. I really enjoy the old Legend of Zelda games and even the new ones because they have a lot of really cool critters in there. One of my favorites is this little moth thing that shows up in the Wind Waker, I believe. And then fantasy movies, Lord of the Rings, sci-fi movies. Other people's artwork is a great place to look up for new inspiration because everybody's interpretation of a thing. You could have 8 different artists do an octopus, and it's all going to look different depending on exactly how each individual artist puts their take on how to do it. So definitely other artists. I love movies, album covers, just everything.